Eva is representing a sponsor, Marana Rehabilitation. So this is a wonderful way of integrating what businesses do for caregivers with coming together with family and food. Our next reader is Kathy Livingston, also from Senior Helpers and a sponsor, and long time coming to this. And Kathy?
All right. Also, I love the microwave during the week too. I'm not gonna lie to anybody, but that's okay. So what's interesting to me is being a sponsor and being part of the caregiving community. I lost my grandmother this past October, and it kind of put a whole different spin and perspective on things from how I normally look at what we do every day. So Dr. Z, we were talking, and she's like, why don't you read about your grandmother? And so I'm honored to read all of this to you today. So stories, so always use a butter knife. Some of my favorite childhood memories involve sunny days running on a dock along St. Leonard's Creek in southern Maryland. I can recall every single smell involved: the sun-baked wood of the dock, the briny water, and the smell of the wind, and most importantly, the Old Bay seasoning being poured over the latest batch of freshly steamed crabs. My grandparents' house was the best place you could possibly be, especially during Maryland blue crab season. Do you guys know what blue crabs are?
Yeah.
Did you have the crab dip?
Oh, yes.
There's Old Bay in there. Oh yeah. So a typical family gathering during this time of my family involved taking a baited metal hanger. So we would take a wire hanger and we would make it into a circle. I don't need this. We'll make it into a circle, okay? And then you take a chicken neck, right? Real appetizing, okay? But we don't need the chicken neck, that's for the crab. And you stick it on the wire hanger and you tie a rope to it and you throw it off a dock, right? And how do you think you know when a crab is biting? You see it walking against the tide. So if the rope's going in a different direction of the tide, you got a crab on there. So you take it up really slow like this, and then one of the adults normally comes and picks it up with a net, and you've got one crab. And you gotta do a whole lot more for everybody to eat dinner that night. So to many non-Marylanders, this seems like an insane way to prepare for a meal, especially one in which you have to work for such little meat. The good news was Grandma and Papa, right, this was at their house, always prepared for us. So what they did is they would catch crabs all week. My wonderful grandfather, Papa, he'd clean the crabs. So he'd open them, get them all ready so that we thought we were picking crabs, but we were just really picking the meat out. We didn't have to like open them up and do all the dirty stuff. And my grandmother also taught me how to open, clean, and enjoy the delicate meat of the crab leg, right? So who opens a crab leg with a mallet? Does everybody know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
There's a better way to do it. The butter knife, right? So if you put your butter knife on it and then you hit it with the mallet, it does a real clean break. And you don't get all the little shards of shell. So I remember the day that my grandmother sat next to me and taught me that. So my papa even bribed, there's so many crab stories in our family, he bribed my brother to eat his first crab with a quarter. We'd probably have to add inflation to that when we do that to my son in the near future. One of the times when I got a crab on the end of my net, I got really excited and I wanted to be the one to like scoop it up. Nobody heard me, so one of the adults sent me flying about 15 feet off the dock, and I was deathly afraid that the crab was gonna get me. So we loved crabbing. So crabbing, laughing on the water, boating, and sitting down to a long meal. I recently relived many of these experiences while losing my grandmother to dementia in October of last year. It brought me comfort during such a difficult time to recall those sunny days and share my memories of them with her while she spent her final weeks in hospice. It is my hope that she is now in a place to experience those moments again, as I do every time I think of her. I thoroughly look forward to carrying on such family tradition with my son at my parents' summer home this summer.